Welcome to the Empath School Podcast. I'm Jack, and together with my wife, Tiff, we are all about you, the empath. We are the creators of the #1 energy management system for you. We help you reclaim your power and thrive in your life and at work. Let's do this. Welcome to episode 234. Oh, the lessons we've learned. And in the background, you can hear a wrapper being ripped open and a delicious chocolate being placed in Tiffany's sexy mouth with her sexy lips. Today,
oh man,
we don't
this is
know.
So good. Oh my.
Wow,
this is a truffle.
She's just having a little truffle. No trouble, just a truffle.
Wow.
Today, this is the beginning of a really fun time together. And today's episode probably will get a little explicit, maybe a lot.
Ooh,
if that's offensive to you, turn it off. Just turn it off.
Oh, Jack's on one. You can hear it.
I'm not even on tequila. So if that is something that delights and arouses you, keep it on. Don't turn it off. You may want to put the headphones in those ears if you have little ones running around.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know, you're the parent or the grown-up.
You think you're the parent. You feel like you're the parent of everyone.
As I'm sitting here telling our listener what to do. Mm-hmm. Right? So today for our topic, we wanted to just hop on and have a conversation. We don't know for sure where this is going to go, but we do have a question. We're answering the question, what would we tell our younger selves about life, love, and
purpose?
Was
I right?
I don't know. I can't remember, but I'm going to look over here really quick.
That's what I need to look at.
Yes. Life, love, and wait for it. Yeah, it is purpose. Okay, so that's great. So what would we tell our younger selves about life, love, and purpose? And so we're just going to talk. So Tiff, like today, let's just share a little bit. Tiff just got her lashes done, and I was just noticing them. They are so dark and gorgeous.
Do you like them?
Yeah, they look really good. Are they darker than normal?
Mm-mm.
I love your lashes.
That's my friend Erica.
Shout out to Erica.
She's amazing.
Lash
if anyone
lady.
lives in Salt Lake City that wants to do lashes,
reach out to Tiff.
Reach out to me on Messenger and I'll give you her info because she's awesome. And she makes my life way better.
Yeah.
Than if she wasn't in it. I'll tell you that right now.
Right. So you got your lashes done.
Mm-hmm.
She decided to come over to the office. It's a Tuesday. Typically we
this
record.
is my self-care day.
I know, you're so generous to be here recording this call.
Well, I'm glad I like you and that we do well together on our podcast.
And Thursday we have a little empath lab, and Friday we have a little empath lab, and it's just 2 days and 4 hours, and we're going to have a blast. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think this empath lab, we may throw in a little bit of a automatic writing exercise.
Ooh.
It popped up today when I was doing my coaching call, my backward coaching call for our Empath School students. We were talking about the blocks and limiting beliefs and fears they have about trusting themselves enough to listen or automatic write. So Tiff, would you give an explanation just off the cuff about automatic writing and what that means to you?
Well, automatic writing is just getting out a pen and paper and just asking yourself a question and letting whatever comes to your mind come out in your hand and not judging it. If you judge it and you're like, oh, that's so weird. What would people think if they read this? That kind of stuff. It gets in the way. It just blocks the flow of energy. It's not like every person on this planet doesn't have the gift of being able to hear and see their higher self. We all do. But it's that self-doubt that gets in the way and the questioning of ourselves and the insecurities that we have about who we are because of what everyone's told us about us.
Yeah, something that came up in the coaching call today was about some of the limiting beliefs were coming from religion.
Oh, totally.
And that it feeling like you're like ascribing to the devil.
Totally.
Right?
Yes.
Or that, you're doing something terribly wrong.
Well, if you think about it, now anyone that's listening to this that's in religion, I'm not saying anything negative about you. This is just what I have come to understand within myself. Religion is created by people And those people oftentimes have rules and regulations and structures held in place to keep you in a specific way of operating in the world. So oftentimes they don't want you to think for yourself. So they'll tell you what's right, and then you decide whether you believe that or not. And then you operate from that place instead of sitting with yourself without any attachment or influence of any religion, government, other people, anything. And you just sit there and allow your mind to bring messages through and write them down and just accept it as a message. You don't have to judge anything about it. Just once you're done writing, just read it and go, oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And let it just sit there. I hope that makes
And
sense.
see what, yeah.
And I'm really not trying to attack religion. I'm not.
But we do have to talk about where some of our limiting beliefs come from.
Yeah.
And all of our limiting beliefs honestly come from our upbringing and our experiences, just because that's the way it works.
And our genetics.
Our genetics.
Yeah, we carry that,
Who we
that
come from.
information
Yeah, we
from our
do.
ancestry.
We do. Right. So today we're going to talk about what we would go back, if we could go back and tell our younger self. What age should we be when we go back and tell? 16?
Yeah, that's a great age.
Okay, so if we could go back to our 16-year-old self, what would you tell them about life? And we're both going to answer this question because we're going to do life, love, and purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say, hey, 16-year-old self, I've got a message for...
Well, I would say nothing is what it looks like. There are no accidents. And stop trying so hard, because your higher self is guiding you, and you can either just follow the lead of your higher self and have joy, or you can drag your feet and feel like shit.
That's like so profound.
Like, that's what I'd say.
Wow.
And wow, that would have changed everything for me.
If I would, wouldn't it?
Yes. I mean, I feel like I had some of that understanding, but to hear it from my older self that has gleaned some wisdom through experience, to hear that, listen, there's really nothing to worry about. And most of your pain and struggle is going to be about the worry that you've carried in your life. And it's not necessary. So have a good time.
Yeah, right.
Just have a good time. Go look for Jack.
Right.
Go look for Jack so you can make out.
That was what I was going to say about mine. I'd go back to my 16-year-old self and say, you need to find Tiffany Clayton and kiss her. And
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, honey.
Absolutely.
So
because that would have
exciting.
started this journey a lot sooner.
You so wish it would have been
Oh,
sooner.
yeah, that would have been amazing. So I'd say she lives in Pocatello, Idaho. And she's 13.
Oh,
You're
when
16. I'm 16. So it'd be okay. And you need to go find her and have a conversation. The other thing I'd tell myself back there is that all truth lives inside of you. You have access to every answer you need, because I was so focused externally on doing the right things based on what I was being told or taught or expected of me from family, religion, school, teachers, everything, culture. And I was so outside of myself. And so just say that all truth is inside of you and start learning how to connect in with what feels right to you and what feels like a yes or a no to you, and start practicing meeting yourself there.
Yeah.
Will deepen your experience on this planet, and you're going to have a damn good time. Because when you start really paying attention to yourself, young Jack / Susie, you will find yourself sooner. And finding myself was a journey that ultimately did not fully come to its culmination until you, Tiff, walked into my life.
And I destroyed your world.
You destroyed the construct within which I was living.
Yeah, I did.
And the construct within which I was living is one that was created for all the reasons we just explained. But I was so confined.
Well, I'm sure that my presence in your life, as I unraveled you, I don't think you were super happy about it, but I think you are now.
Yeah, I totally am. And the other thing I would tell myself back then about life is masturbate every day.
Really?
Yeah, connect with your body. I was so disconnected from my body.
Yeah.
And for all the reasons.
Masturbating every day.
I know you were. You were like the queen of masturbation. I've always looked up to you at the highest level because this girl over here, she knew how to pleasure herself.
Nice, babe. Thanks for blowing the whistle.
Oh my God. We warned everybody that this is going to get a little wild today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have really sat down with myself and said, go touch yourself. You need some direction so that you can better understand the pleasure of life that you were.
God, right?
You came into a body that was built for pleasure.
Right.
Go figure.
Go and go
touch yourself.
And listen, here's the deal: is the only person that belongs to us is ourselves.
That's it.
Ever. So it's like if you don't know what your body is here to experience, if you're not connected to your body, you're disconnected from it. And I would say that a lot of religion, I'm not going to say all, I'm not going to generalize, but many religions are all about staying separate from the body.
The ascetics, like keeping yourself morally clean or morally pure or this, that, or the other. Why the fuck were we made with a body that has pleasure all over the place?
Yeah.
And then then we are so afraid, and from the puritanical stand, coming through from the Puritans, which Tiff and I both have heavy lineage there.
Strong Puritans.
It's like, don't show your ankles, don't show your body, don't do anything, just pretend like you have
You were a puritanical fool when I met you.
So huge.
Oh my God.
I was all about the sacrifice.
And not having any pleasure or joy for yourself.
No, I believe
that you give pleasure and joy to everybody else, but it's not for you to include yourself.
No. I literally was raised with that worldview for myself.
Oh.
That there's no place for me to really have pleasure. It was not about pleasure. Although I found pleasure in plenty of things, just not in my body.
What did you have pleasure in?
Food. I loved food. And then I got all fucked up in my head.
It doesn't matter if you loved food. You never even had your
I
own
never even let myself
and...
eat it because I was so freaked out that I was going to gain weight. Oh my Jesus. It was a rough road.
I mean, you never had a hamburger and fries to yourself in your entire life till after we got together. No. And you were 40.
I know.
What is that?
I was a fanatic.
Yeah, I would say
I got very fanatical about controlling things.
Controlling yourself.
And because I really dialed my focus down on food and my body as my two main areas of control. And
well, as a teenager, you were getting drunk.
Yeah, maybe we could just talk about that right now.
Yep.
I was getting so drunk, I would black out. Dangerous as fuck. Not okay. But that's what I did.
You'd find yourself in weird places.
Yeah. I'd wake up in a really cold room laying on the floor. Not recommending that. So I'd go back and talk to my younger self and say, if you're going to get drunk, let's do it in a way that is really going to serve you at the highest level. And you're going to have fun and have a good time. And then you can walk out of there awake. And not blacked out in the middle of the room.
Yeah, you and I were very different. We grew up very different.
I mean, you're the wild, edgy one, yet you're the one that kept certain rules. You weren't drinking, you weren't smoking, you weren't doing anything.
None of that. And you got stoned.
You were masturbating every day, and I'm not masturbating at all, but boy.
Yeah, well, I was like, I can't have sex with people because that's against my belief system. And I'm not going to drink, and I'm not going to smoke, and I'm not going to do drugs. And I didn't do any of those things. So I decided to pleasure myself a little bit here and there. And then I had my first alcoholic beverage at the age of 40.
Was it delicious?
I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was
champagne.
Peach champagne, I think.
It was something.
Yeah, it was delicious. It made me feel guilty as shit. I remember crying coming out of the liquor store because I was doing something so heinously evil. And boy, have things changed. That's all I can say.
Yeah, they really have.
Yeah. Well, that
So,
took us
wow.
on, that took us on a little
Oh
ride.
my God, the things we'd tell our 16-year-old self about life. What would we tell our 16-year-old selves about love?
Ooh, you go with that one
Oh,
first.
okay. This is what I would say. Love will free you. Let yourself go. Just let yourself feel the energy of love and let it open you up into completely unknown possibilities, things that are going to push you out of your comfort zone, but you're going to want it. Let yourself go there. And if I was talking to myself covertly about coming into relationship with you, about coming into the truth of myself in a
I know,
bigger
but what
way,
if like I wasn't around until you
you
were
weren't going to
like
be
40?
around. There's only one life with you. It would have started sooner. If I can go talk to my 16-year-old self,
I know, but you could have had all
I
these,
would have met you by
these
the time I was
fun-
17.
Oh, brother.
No.
You could have had a lot of fun with some other girls.
Well, okay, but there's only one girl for me, and I'd kiss a whole bunch of girls to get to where I am.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't have to kiss all the boys.
Right.
I could just kiss the girls.
Yeah.
Because I could be more connected to myself and what feels aligned to me. But I couldn't even go there then.
No.
No, not even close. But I'd say I'd go in about love and I'd say, go kiss some girls.
Right.
Go kiss some girls and see how it feels.
Right.
And trust yourself. I wouldn't want to give the whole thing away to leave a little bit of excitement in the mix.
Oh my gosh.
But it would be just about really trusting yourself with love, and that love is rich and vast and freeing, and that it will give you a space to be your most authentic self. So I'd be talking to myself as though I'd be with you.
You're so
Because
sweet.
I'm with you.
You're so in love.
And I
aren't
wanna be
you?
here.
You're so in love with me.
Yes,
I love you.
totally.
Is it my turn?
And sex is awesome. And the sex is part of love. That's the other thing I'd have to tell myself. So start masturbating now, so you're ready to like get a little wild, zesty. Fine tip at all costs.
Wow.
How about you?
Well, I'm just going to be bold and say it. I would tell myself that the constructs around sexual connection, intimacy, is all bullshit. The stories about what sex means and what it is, and that it's only for this or only for that, I would dispel all of that garbage. And I would tell myself that it's important for you to have sexual connection so you can get to know who you are better, and so that you can learn to connect to other people more, and to allow your fluid sexual energy to exist. Because I truly believe that most females are sexually fluid. And people can listen to this and disagree. It's totally fine. But this is what I would tell myself.
Well, it's your podcast. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can do what I want.
Yeah,
I can
can.
goddamn do what
You
I
can.
want.
This is your
But
platform.
I just feel that I would have been happier if I would have been able to embrace the true fluidity of my love, which is wild, primal, raw, free, vast, and amazing. And that's what I would tell myself. Go out
That was
and
profound.
have sex and be fluid with your love, and just experience as much as you can.
Yeah.
Be smart and go.
And that's okay. You'll
Do
figure
stuff.
out what smart is after the fact.
Yeah.
That's okay too.
Well, I'm just talking about safe, sexually safe.
Yeah, well, it's all kind of.
I know. Everyone
Yeah,
has
right.
herpes.
True that.
Oh, geez.
Speaking from experience. That's funny. Well, I love that. That was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what would we tell our 16-year-old selves about purpose?
Ooh. How about you?
I know exactly what I'd say.
I want to hear.
I would say you're here living with a very big purpose on this planet. And the most important thing you can do to live this very big purpose of helping people live in their truth at the highest level is to be authentic. Get to know yourself and bring that self forward in everything. Pay attention to what you want, what feels good, what doesn't. Connect with yourself, speak your truth, experiment, try things, see what feels good, see what doesn't feel good. That's how you live your purpose.
Wow, babe. That's
Connect
amazing.
to your authentic self. And that means you have to experience everything you can get your hands on. Go for it.
Yeah. I love it. Are you waiting for me?
Yes, I'm done.
I feel kind of sleepy.
Yeah, you probably need a nap.
I don't think I do.
You need a snuggle.
Yes.
Right.
Let's go home and snuggle.
Okay.
Oh, like you're going to leave work.
You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Okay, so what would I tell myself about purpose? You know what I'd say?
What?
Don't worry about it. Because all I did was think about what I was going to be doing.
I didn't.
I know. And that's why this is so interesting to
Isn't
me
it?
to have this conversation. Because I would just say, don't worry about it. You're going to end up being where you're supposed to be at the right time. And you're never going to be able to plan. You're never going to feel like you learned enough. But you're going to show up at that moment on that day when you're here to do specific things. And you'll know exactly what to do because you always did. And stop thinking about it and go and enjoy your life.
Jesus, that is profound.
That's what I would say.
I love it.
Because I'm like, I'm going to be a famous singer and I'm going to do this and I'm going to get married and I'm going to have kids and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And I set all this parameters around what I believed my purpose was. And it kept me stuck in places. It kept me stuck in a marriage. It kept me stuck in a religion. It kept me stuck in a way of thinking as a parent, as a wife, as a woman. And I would love to go back and say, forget about it. Just go and enjoy your life because you're going to end up right where you need to be because
When
your
you need to be
intention,
there.
because your intention will take you there and so will your higher self. And that's what I tell myself. And as we're talking about this, like right now, I know for a fact that the way we did it was perfect.
Yes, so true.
I mean, it's fun to go back and say, what would we tell ourselves?
Well, it's
'Cause-
nice because it helps us measure where we are.
Yes.
Right? It helps us to
Yes.
really ground into this day. And it's fun to consider the shifts and changes that we
Yes.
would have experienced back then if we knew what we know now, but we wouldn't know what we know now if we didn't live all the days from
Yes.
then until now. But it makes for a fun podcast.
Well, it's fun to think about because you really do get clear on what you've learned.
You do.
And so what I think we should do now, and you tell me what you think, babe, is let's talk about with what we told ourselves back then in these three things, how do you think it would have changed our lives? How would it have changed your life if you would have went back and talked to
I
your
know for a
16
fact what it would have done for me.
What?
I would have transitioned way sooner. And even if I wasn't able to, I would have been more expressed in the truth of myself as a male.
Right.
And because I was trying so hard to fit in a female body, and it was so discordant for me, and I didn't understand it at all. But I know that it would bring me faster into the truth of myself. And the more in the truth of myself I live, the better my life feels. And I believe this is true for you, listener. I believe this is true for all of us. That the more that we connect in with our unique expression, our unique energy,
Yeah.
the better we feel.
Don't you think it's kind of funny? We're talking about this. And right now out in the world in some places with some people that there's this talk of there's only a specific kind of person.
Bullshit. That's
Give
a
me
bullshit
a fucking
story.
break.
It's a bullshit story.
We are all so unique. We are divine expressions. We are an expression, a unique expression of the divine. And we are vastly different. It's like this tapestry of beauty of all the things that anyone could ever possibly be. It's here in this world. And my God, we cannot allow anyone to ever tell us that we cannot be free to be who we feel that we are. I'm so glad you're talking about this because we grew up, you and I grew up in a time where it's like, men are this way, women are this way, there's only this kind of experience, this kind of religion, this kind of this kind of this.
It's only men that can be attracted to women and women attracted to men. And
I'm like, let's go back in history, shall we? Let's just get real. Like, there's been gender fluidity. There's been
sexual fluidity.
There's been all the things for all the time that the world has existed. So the fact that anybody is still trying to say, you can only be like this.
And many of them may think the earth is flat. Maybe.
Oh,
boy.
Lordy. So how I think it would make my life different from
Yeah.
what I said about life.
How would it?
I'm trying to remember what I said. Do you remember?
About life?
Uh-huh. What I said to myself
I think
about
you
life.
started out with like no accidents.
Oh,
and
right.
everything.
Thank you. I think that I probably would have PTSD
No, probably not.
because I would
You would have been so much more free.
Yes. I was very, I tried really hard to be a conformist. It never worked out very well. I could never conform, but because I was trying so hard and I couldn't get it right, I was in trouble a lot.
Yeah, and depressed for 8 years.
I had
and
depression so bad.
So bad.
So bad. And yeah, I had imprisoned myself more than anyone else imprisoned me.
Well,
So I think I would have been living more free.
definitely.
And then with love, I would have had the best. I would have been in my
You would have been
goddess
having
energy.
sex everywhere. Let's get real. You
I
would
have been.
You would have been
like in my goddess energy
You
way
would have been.
sooner.
Absolutely.
I think I would have just
That
enjoyed
would be
life.
gorgeous.
I probably would have traveled the world. I would have had all these experiences. I would be very well versed in the different cultures of the world. It would have been amazing. Just
Really
thinking about it, does
beautiful.
it get y'all hot and bothered?
Oh, I'm so hot and bothered, quite frankly. I mean, thank God we set the premise that today was going to be a little bit wild and explicit because it definitely has.
Okay, you and love. If you would have known then what you know now, how would it have changed your life?
I already talked about it.
Not about love.
Purpose.
No, love.
We've already done love. And I talked about it because it's all about sex, remember?
No, we've talked about those, but now how would your life have been different?
Oh, I got it. I know where you're going with this.
Well, that's what we've been doing.
I'm a very little literal brain, and then you're circling back about how it'd be different in all these areas,
Yeah.
right? So life, love, and purpose.
You already
Love.
did love. Or
How
life.
it would be for me different in love again. Like I would be with you. I would have explored my sexuality. I would be very open to just go in deep and fall head over heels in love. I feel like I would have connected with my body so much sooner that would have allowed me to wake my sexuality up.
Yeah.
And I would be with you sooner. We would just be doing this longer
Yeah.
in ways that would look different than they do now. But
Yeah.
I just know that it would have been a really incredible opportunity to be able to understand what I know now at 16 years old. Life would have been so much more open and big.
Do you remember when we met and what good friends we were? We just had such a good time together.
Best friends.
Best friends. Like
Yes.
so much compatibility. And there was always that intense like chemistry and attraction that we just pretended wasn't there. But it really gave us a chance to develop a friendship that was just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And we just enjoyed being together. We had incredible conversations. We explored the depths of all the ideas and all the thoughts. And we literally started to walk each other out of our old lives into the creation of a new experience together. And then, of course, the chemistry got the best of us after a few years. And
It sure did.
um,
Thank God.
I just think it would have been so great to have you as my best friend then. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, life. It's so funny because even now I can never differentiate when Tiff wasn't in my life. And I think back to memories. I'm like, you were there, right? She's like, no, that was when you were 20. I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have really,
I always felt like
I
we
would
were
have been-
together.
I would have felt so much more grounded and solid having us together sooner.
You know why? Is because I let you boss me around.
Oh, right. Only in the things that feel good to you. But if it's something that it doesn't, it's not going to work. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay, last one.
Believe me, I've tried to boss you around.
Oh, you still do.
I do. But it doesn't work.
I'll
always.
let you do it sometimes.
Yeah, you will. Just to tease
Especially if it's something that I agree with.
me. Exactly. Exactly my point.
If I would have listened, and how would it have changed my life if I would have known what I know now?
Yeah, will be
Well,
interesting based on what you said about
purpose.
purpose.
I think that God, I have no idea.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, I think I would be further ahead in my career than I am now at 53, for sure. I think I would have done probably 20 years ago what I'm doing now.
Yeah, me too. That's exactly what I would
And
have said.
I probably would have a few books out.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have been marching to the beat of my own drum and being an entrepreneur and really rolling it out
Oh, yeah.
at the highest level.
Totally.
No question. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have even gone down other routes that I walked down.
You know what I swear? If this wasn't our mission, you know, it was kind of going backwards. I swear you'd be a massive corporate tycoon. I swear.
Okay, then.
That could have been exciting.
The more controlling the profession, the better.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I've had to learn how to really operate with the flow of the universe while being a controlling bastard. And I think I've done a pretty good job of marrying the two.
I think so.
Yeah. And
it probably helps that you have an uncontrollable wife.
Oh, totally. And I love the freedom to create my own way.
Aren't you glad I'm not in all your business?
Yes. You have been stellar at not peeing on my paper.
I don't want to do what you do.
Yeah,
I don't want to make any decisions about it. I just want you to be your best self, make plenty of money, buy me jewelry, and take me on vacations and have great sex. That's all I want in life.
Let's do that.
Except to live my mission, which is to help people awaken to the truth of themselves. That's important to me.
Okay, and now we're going to wrap this up, but I have one last question.
Okay.
So now you're on your deathbed.
Ooh.
What would you regret not having done?
There's only one thing, and it's if I didn't do my job to wake as many people up to the truth of their divinity as I could. If I failed at that, this would have been pointless for me. It's that serious for me.
I can feel it as you say it.
Like it'll make me cry if I talk about it anymore. How about you?
A regret that I would have if I didn't accomplish something. Honestly, it would be living as my most authentic self.
Oh. We're going to cry.
It's crazy how the energy feels when you consider it's really important, these things to us.
Well,
Really
I'm really grateful to say if I was to die tomorrow that I did as much as I could. I can say I did that.
Yeah, I could too.
You're sure authentic.
Well, you're sure waking people up to the truth of themselves, as I am your poster child.
I love that.
Yeah, it's been your energy in my experience that just broke off the chains and the boxes that were holding me captive. And you kept breaking down the structure around me.
How, in your estimation, how did I do that for you?
Just by simply being yourself. And it wasn't anything where you were trying to get me to be anything.
No.
It was through the questions you asked. It was through the boundaries that you set for yourself. It was through your reading of subtle energy and being courageous enough to bring it to my attention over and over. And it was the most intense burning down of my false idols that could have ever been. And the false idols were the insecurity and the lack of self-belief and feeling like I'm nothing and that I don't really exist and you just it's just your presence. It's not like it's anything you specifically say, although all the things you say lead to a deeper awakening of self. And when you talk about your regret, if you weren't able to really assist at a very big level, the awakening of human souls to their true potential and the truth of who they really are. And you literally did that for me. Literally did that. That's why my answer to all these questions is get to Tiff quicker. Whatever you can do, go find her. She has something to tell you.
Wow. I love you so much.
I love you too.
This is intensely emotional.
A sacred journey. I wouldn't change a day. It's just been big.
Yeah.
And I love it.
You're so brave.
So are you.
We're a good match. We're a good team.
Yeah, we are. We really are. Wow, that was beautiful. I'm really grateful to be able to go on this journey. You know what, podcast listener? If you weren't here listening, we would have no one to share this with.
Nope.
So thank you for being such a beautiful part of our life and our mission on this planet. You're a gift.
Thank you for being a blessing in our lives. And listen up. Eat dessert first because life is meant to be devoured.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being here with us today. It's been so delightful. If you would like more information, jump over to our website, www.empathschool.com. Can't wait to see you there.